Hello friends, we are in the module number 4 environmental pollution and we are at the last topic. Okay, in this session we are going to discuss about the solid waste, biomedical waste and e-wastes. Let us start with the solid and biomedical wastes. What is this solid waste management? The solid waste, no, they can be discarded and abandoned material. Okay, it can be solid, liquid or semi-solid like materials. Okay, the solid waste, no, they include the garbage, refuse, sludge from a wastewater plant. Okay, or any other discarded material from industrial and commercial and mining, agricultural and other purposes. The waste in the form of a solid, liquid or semi-solid. Anything which is in the form of solid, liquid or semi-liquid or semi-solid are referred to as a solid waste. By 2050, no, the world is expected to generate around 3.4 billion tons of municipal solid waste annually. This much is expected and is going to affect surely in many ways. Types, which are all the different types of the solid wastes, like household waste, which is generally classified as a municipal waste, okay, which is the waste from kitchen, okay, or from the dead and decay parts of the plants and animals, okay, paper waste, covers, all the particles, they comes under a municipal solid waste. Okay, and the next type is from industries waste. Okay, industrial waste and hazardous wastes. Hazardous wastes are the one which may be containing mercury, lead, etc. They are considered under the hazardous waste category. And the next one is biomedical waste. Okay, which is coming out from a maximum from the hospital waste, which is a infectious waste. And the last one is e-waste. These are all the different types of the solid wastes. First, let us see the municipal solid waste. It includes the waste from all the places, like starting from residential, commercial, from schools, colleges, sanitation residues, waste from streets, okay, and it is generally referred to as garbage. What and all it consists of? It consists of organic waste, which are all comes under the organic waste, the waste from a kitchen, okay, and vegetable, fruit fields, flowers, leaves, all these are regarded as organic wastes. Organic wastes are the one where which is generated from kitchen, like vegetable and fruits, flowers, leaves, etc. Toxic wastes, which are all the toxic wastes, the old medicines and unused paints for a long time, chemicals, bulbs, spray cans, pesticide containers, batteries, shoe polish, etc. These are all considered as toxic wastes. And recycles, paper, glass, metals, plastics. These are all the municipal solid wastes. See, the waste dumps which are just directly thrown without separating and without giving a proper treatment. Actually, the waste has to be thrown separately like this. Even in a like dry waste and wet waste, we are separating. The dry waste, no, after it is collected, it will be separated like this. Paper separately, glass related materials, plastics and metals are separated and then they are processed. Kitchen waste, no, generally they are the biodegradable. Usually they will be taking some 1 to 2 weeks depending on the size. Okay, and paper, no, degenerates within a month. Okay, just compare here. Biodegradable waste like kitchen waste, it requires 2 weeks. Paper like impurities, no, they will be requiring around 1 month to get degraded. Cotton cloths, no, they take 6 months. Okay, and woolen things, no, they require almost a year, and wooden materials 10 to 15 years to degenerate. Okay, tin and aluminum, they will be bioleached over years into ground, but plastic bags take millions of years to completely biodegradable. Okay, degradation of glass made up of silicates is undetermined. Okay, we don't know, okay, what's the time period of staying of glass and silicates. Just compare. Kitchen waste, very less amount of time and it is increasing just like that. Okay, paper at least up to 1 month, cotton 6 months, woolen 1 year, okay, and wooden materials 10 to 15 years, they'll be just lying like that. And tin and aluminum, how many years, okay, and plastic millions of years, and we don't know the lifetime of glass and silicates. It's not at all calculated. Coming to the biomedical waste, 25% of the wastes which are generated in the hospitals are biomedical wastes and are infectious, okay, and should be treated with the extreme care, because no, it may be, it may be generated during the diagnosis, treatment, immunization, okay, and it includes solid waste, tissues, cultures, bandages, body fluids, human excreta, etc., okay, which should be handled and thrown separately. Otherwise no, it will be further, it will be spreading the diseases, which should be handled carefully. It is called as a infectious form of the waste, which contains the body fluids, blood, and other body liquids which are highly dangerous in nature. Segregation. How should we supposed to segregate the biomedical wastes? They are separated in a different color containers, okay, different color containers they will be thrown, okay. Anatomical and solid waste, the expired medicine, okay, clinical and microbiological and laboratory waste, they are discarded in a yellow color containers, and they are sent to the incineration and deep burial, because no, they are not for any further use, and they cannot be directly thrown on the land, because they take so much of years of time to get decomposed, okay. So these types of impurities can be done deep burial, okay, in the grounds, okay. And the contaminated recyclable waste such as bottles, tubes, syringes, okay, not needle, syringes, are collected in a red color containers, and they are sent for a microwaving, followed by sending them to the authorized recyclers only, okay. First they should be microwaved, okay, then it should be sent to the authorized recyclers only, as they can be recycled and they can be reused. And next, coming to the needles, okay, and syringes with fixed needles, okay, syringes with fixed needles will be there, no, they should be used once and thrown light, right. And the blades are knives which are used for operation and other purposes, surgery purposes. And the contaminated objects, they are subjected to the autoclaving, okay. First they should be autoclaving to be done, okay, and dry heat sterilization has to be done, and then further it should be sent to the authorized iron foundries only, because even it will be dangerous, it should never be reused, it should be sent to the authorized foundries only. And then next case, the contaminated glassware items including like medicine bottles, okay, should be sent to the authorized recyclers, okay. And after sterilization with the sodium perchlorate, okay, just they should be washed with the sodium perchlorate solution, and it can be sent to the authorized recyclers, as they can be reused like this in a different type, different color containers. It should be thrown. Before throwing, proper treatment has to be given, and then it should be disposed. Because if it is properly disposed, the medical waste prevents the infections and diseases from spreading. If it is not thrown directly, if it is thrown, surely it will be spreading the diseases, okay. So who are at risk? The peoples who are at a highest risk are being those who are handling the biomedical waste, for instance, like healthcare workers, patients, okay, waste collection and disposal staff, and even our environment at last, okay. The biomedical waste may pose an occupational hazard when managed incorrectly, okay. It will become a serious hazard if it is thrown directly to the land, okay, on the land. Therefore we need special precautions and the well-trained personnel to manage these biomedical wastes and keep them at low risk, okay. Next is the e-waste. All the wastes which are generated from the electronic products which are not in use are referred to as e-wastes. Electronic waste is popularly or generally called as e-waste, okay. E-waste which consists of everything electronic items in which are like computer, videos, printers, scanners, monitors, TV displays, phones, refrigerators, AC, washing machines, okay, and automobiles, chips, processors, motherboards, PCBs, computer parts, TV parts, okay, and alarm and security devices, sensors, okay, all comes under, all the electronic devices comes under the e-waste category. E-waste, no, even they are separately collected from home, it is separately they are collected, and from hospitals, from government bodies, and from private sectors they are collected separately. These are all the e-waste from home, from hospitals. Like from home means PC, television, radio, cell phones, etc. And from hospitals, like what do they use? ECG device and all medical devices which are used there, monitors, PC, microscope, incubator, etc. And from government bodies like fax, xerox, okay, tube lights, ACs, etc., CPUs, etc. And from private sectors, PC, boilers, mixer, okay, etc. Separately they are collected and they must be collected. See the dump which is just thrown like this, all the e-wastes without collecting, it is just thrown. Without proper recovery, it is thrown. E-waste mountain. All the electric wastes, electronic wastes are thrown without any treatment. It is happening. Yes, of course it is happening. Okay, what are all the effects if they are thrown like that? Emissions of e-waste cause environmental damage. Yes, of course it causes environmental damage in many ways. Okay, because no, the toxic chemicals which are from e-waste, no, which enters into the soil, crop and to the food pathway. Okay, they are biodegradable and cause soil pollution. And e-waste dumping and surrounding places, no, they cause serious health hazards. The most dangerous form of the burning of e-waste in order to collect copper and other metals. Okay, from where and all this e-waste are once again they are causing problem. From to recover, no, like illegally some e-waste will be burnt. Okay, to recover copper they are burnt. To recover lead batteries are burnt like that. And incineration of e-waste can emit toxic fume gases, which will be highly carcinogenic in nature and extremely toxic dioxins like furans can be emitted from halogenated flame retardants products and from PCBs. If these PCBs are burnt, what happens? They are releasing dioxins, okay, which is one of the toxic product, highly toxic product. And we already studied lead waste. If it is there, it will be causing almost all organs dysfunctioning. And carbon black is carcinogenic in nature, and the polymer waste is carcinogen, okay, and also it releases dioxins which is highly toxic. Methods of disposal. Because now incineration causes hazardous materials airborne. Landfill disposal allows the toxic substances to leach to the groundwater. And acid bath are dangerous. Acid causes water and soil contamination. Okay, if it is just thrown like that, it will be entering to the water, ground, okay, all the sources. When it once enters into the soil and water, obviously it will be entering to the human system. Best way is to disassembly or demantling. Okay, it's a systematic removal of the component from the e-waste compounds. Okay, and material recovery. The materials like plastics, metal, glass, they can be recovered by sorting them before mixing with the other wastes. First, separately they should be sorted. And upgrading. What is this upgrading? It is separating the materials by using physical, mechanical or other methods to recover materials which include incineration and refining. These are the process in dismantling. Manual separation should to be done, like separately metal and separately the plastic should be collected, and separation of the PCBs, motherboards. Okay, all the products separately they are separated from the e-waste before throwing together. Fine. What are the advantages here? The advantages of the recycling is to assist the recoveries and reduction of the need for landfills. Okay, and once again we can resell and reuse it. Okay, and which creates the more jobs. These are all the advantages of the recycling. And next is the proper management is very important. Many countries know, including India, they are framed rules for scientific e-waste disposal and waste, electronic and electrical waste separately, and battery rules are there to collect lead and lead compounds, and reduction of the waste at source, awareness programs to be given to all the peoples, and finally choosing the safer technologies for cleaner substitutes. According to the statistics, around 40 million tons of e-waste is every year it is generated. Only 27% of it is recycled. Out of the 40 million, okay, only the up to, you just imagine 30%. Okay, so 12 million is recycled. Remaining, imagine about 28 million what is happening. Okay, and India is in a 5th position in generating e-waste. Because of being a smart user of smartphones, this rank may be further increased in future. And the amount of e-waste generation may exceed to 50 million tons by 2020. And now it is 2021. Okay, so it may be up to 52 or 53 million tons of e-waste is being generated. And you just imagine, maximum 30% only is recycled. Remaining is not properly separated, and surely it will be causing hazardous effects on soil and water sources, and finally the humans will get affected. So always the best way is to reuse and reduce and recycle. This is the end of the chapter. Okay, we will be meeting with the next topic with the next session. Until then, thank you.